All right, now we're getting into sports. It's been 16 years after 127 football fans lost their lives in Accra in what has been described as the worst stadium disaster to have ever taken place in Africa. It occurred during a match between Ghana's two most successful teams and arch rivals, Accra Hearts and Kotoko and Hearts and Kotoko. That disaster is commemorated every year, usually with the laying of wreaths at the Accra Sports Stadium, etc. Other individuals, especially veteran sports administrator Herbert Mensah, who was chairman of the Asante Kotoko team at the time of the disaster. He organizes various activities to mark the day. I'll be introducing you to a very quick package, but Gary L. Smith is here in the studio. Gary, about May 9, people seem to be getting tired about talking about this particular issue every year. We talk about maybe the issue about people not being the victims or children of victims not being taken care of. But Herbert, of course, is one of those who would never get tired of this. Is there anything particular that the two parties are doing to make that situation give it some kind of relevance anyway to the people who live after that day?
It's interesting that the subject of whether we should talk about it or not has come up because, you know, that in the local parlance they say, or even, generally in life, they say that once you are dead, you are forgotten. You know, after a few years, maybe when it's fresh after a month, everybody will be crying. A year, there'll be an anniversary. After 10 years, and then people start, and I think that's where we are. It's been 16 years. And people like Herbert Mensah feel that as a nation, we are trying to forget it and we should not forget it. People also feel that we are not doing enough to let the reason why we don't want to forget it resonate with us. Okay, so it's not just about not forgetting it every May 9 laying wreaths like we are seeing, but what is the added significance for us? If every year we don't forget it and we do something special to show that we are moving forward in our general way of life, specifically in our football, then it's worth doing. Others also feel that, look, what's the use of laying wreaths every year if the same problems persist?
Yeah.
And which is a valid argument too.
Exactly, because then you haven't learned any lessons from what happened.
Because it's the same Accra Stadium. 16 years down the line, the Accra Stadium is in a deplorable state. It's collapsing. I mean, it could collapse tomorrow, and we could have something worse than the May 9 disaster, So it's a very interesting situation, but people like Herbert Mensah keep saying that we must find more creative ways to be able to do that. Creative ways have to come from the people in authority, or maybe
the parties,
maybe the clubs. Or maybe
about political parties all the time.
Yeah, or maybe the media should push the agenda and so on and so forth.
Hasn't the media done enough?
That's the point. When it comes to the media, and people say, no, it's not the media's job to say they've done enough. It's your duty to do it every year, But I feel that, personally, Hearts and Kotoko have also, to be very honest, every year they have done this for a long time. We need more creative ways to be able to put this in the national psyche.
What do you reckon are some of the creative ways that we can deal with it?
So make the remembrance more contemporary so that, for example, the stadium is in a bad way. If to mark this year's anniversary, a major refurbishment of sorts is done to coincide with May 9, 2017, then we say that 16 years down the line, we don't want another May 9 2001 to happen. And so we have, as a people, whether it's corporate involvement or whether it's the government that's going to do it, to show that we have taken one step forward. What were some of the other issues that were the causes of the May 9 disaster? Bad policing was a problem. So if we say that as part of May 9 2017, 16 years on, we are putting more policemen or we are paying them better, something like that, just to make sure that the commemorative measures are more physical, they are more, those are the images. There was bad policing, that was a problem,
This looks scary.
Yes,
and by the time the day ended, so many people were dead.
Yes. Some say 126, some say 127, and all over radio, television, and social media, people who nearly went to the stadium are talking about how lucky they were.
They were for not going.
Some who were at the stadium, but somehow there was a guy who I was reading, chilling account. He was like, that day Real Madrid and Bayern Munich were playing in the Champions League semi-final as well. So he and his brothers decided to beat the traffic from full time. So they left 10 minutes to time. When they were leaving and they got downstairs, that was when the first tear gas and the water cannon was fired. And they were giving the story of what happened. When they were going down, they saw somebody coming upstairs and that person died, you know. And so all these stories are reasons why I feel that more tangible things can be done. And frankly, I'm tired of the wreath laying every year.
But people have suggested that perhaps these two clubs can, you know, organize some marches, you know, raise some funds, etc. How about that? Is that you've been chatting with these people?
Last year we spoke to somebody who was in charge of the main. There was a fund that was put in. We started the investigation somewhere in April, just to coincide with the day. And by the time it got to May 9, 2016, we had a sense that some monies had gone somewhere.
Wow.
Yeah, you know, so these things, and we made a whole lot of noise about it right in these studios. We gave the relevant documents that we had to the relevant authorities, but of course, you know, nothing was done about it. And we knew that the monies had gone somewhere. If you play these matches, are you sure they're going to go to these people?
I see. It's quite sad, but anyway, it's 16 years and we still remember those the souls that have departed. I see your red tie. I think, even though it's for the fashion of it, we still remember all of those who have died. May their souls continue to rest in peace, and those that they left behind be taken care of. Any final words, Gary?
Well, I mean, May 9 really changed our football. For a lot of people, it was a watershed moment for the way they watch football in this country. Whole families stopped going to the stadia. They stopped their kids and grandkids from going to the stadium. Those who did not have relations or friends who died but saw what happened just completely lost the love for the local game, and still we have not recovered.
I think some people perhaps have, but not as.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, as collectively, no, we haven't recovered.
Okay, Gary Al Smith there talking sports. Today I'm talking sports. I'm a sports spirit, am I not?
Sure.
Okay, well that will be how we wrap up the show. But the story about President Akufo-Addo's MMDC appointees facing rejections, even as others enjoy massive approval, will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletins. But we do know that some of the areas, somewhere in the Upper West, in the Volta region, there have been some major rejections. We'll bring you updates on that in our subsequent bulletins. For now, though, you can log on to myjoyonline.com for more news and information. My name is Gifty Andua.